Mr. David says he likes my new pajamas. She was 3. She was smiling. She was looking at the monitor on her dresser when she said it. I didn't know who Mr. David was. My daughter did. She'd known him for 7 months. The friend. Mr. David says he likes my new pajamas. I was folding laundry on the couch. Lily was standing in the hallway in the owl pajamas my mother had sent for her birthday. She was smiling. She was looking toward her bedroom. My hand stopped moving. I don't mean I paused. I mean, my fingers locked around the fabric, and I could not make them open. I'm getting ahead of myself. Lily started mentioning Mr. David in March. She had just turned 3, and her pediatrician had told us imaginary friends were not only normal, but a sign of developing social cognition. If she starts talking to someone who isn't there, Dr. Kaur said, it means her brain is building theory of mind. Let her. So we let her. Mr. David liked dogs. Mr. David had a dog named Biscuit. Mr. David lived in a yellow house. Mr. David could see her room. Lily reported these details the way children report everything, in fragments, between bites of applesauce, while pulling her socks off, while refusing to put her shoes on. My husband Kevin and I cataloged them the way parents catalog everything, as adorable as a phase, as something we'd laugh about at Thanksgiving. The details were specific. That's what Kevin noticed first. Imaginary friends, in his experience, were vague. A name, maybe a color, a general sense of personality. Lily's Mr. David had a biography. The dog had a name. The house had a color. When Kevin asked what Mr. David looked like, Lily said he had glasses and a beard. When Kevin asked how old Mr. David was, Lily held up all 10 fingers, then put them down and held up all 10 again. That many, she said. Kevin mentioned it to me one night after Lily was asleep. I said, kids are imaginative. He said this felt more like a description than imagination. I said, Dr. Kaur told us it was normal. Kevin said, okay. That was April. In May, Lily said Mr. David knew her real name. Not Lily, her full name. Lillian Grace Morse. I asked how Mr. David knew that. She said she told him. In June, Lily said Mr. David knew I was the one who sings the bath song. She meant the song I made up when she was a baby to get her to sit still during bath time. I hadn't sung it to anyone else. I asked where Mr. David heard the bath song. Lily said, he hears everything. I felt something move in my chest. Not a chill, a tightening, like a fist, closing around something I hadn't known was loose. In July, Kevin came home late from work. He stopped outside Lily's door. It was open, and said down the hallway to me, sorry, I-25 was a nightmare. He hadn't even put his bag down yet. Lily looked up from the floor where she was playing and said, Mr. David says you should leave earlier. Kevin went still. He hadn't spoken to Lily. He'd spoken to me from the hallway, 4 feet from her open door. But the monitor's microphone had heard him, and Mr. David had answered through our daughter. Kevin looked at me across the kitchen. I looked at the baby monitor on the counter. The monitor. The two-way monitor with the speaker and the microphone and the camera that had been in her room since the day we brought her home from the hospital. Kevin picked it up. He turned it over. The green light was on. It was always on. "Lily," he said, "where does Mr. David talk to you?" She pointed at the monitor in his hands and said, "That." Kevin unplugged it. He took it to the garage. He came back and sat on the floor outside Lily's room and didn't move for a long time. I sat next to him. Neither of us said anything. My legs were shaking so hard, my knees knocked against the baseboard. We called the police that night, and they came the next morning. 2 officers who were patient and clearly did not know what to do with the information. They took the monitor. They asked if we'd changed the default password. We had. They asked if Lily could describe Mr. David in more detail. She could. She described him the way you describe someone you know well. He was nice. He was funny. He had a joke about a chicken. He sang to her when she couldn't sleep. He told her he was her special friend and that it was their secret. I was sitting on the floor of her room when she said, "Their secret," and my legs stopped working. Not dramatically, not a faint, just the muscles gave out. I sat there and couldn't get up, and Kevin had to help me stand. The technician who examined the monitor found a second access point, an admin portal that our password change hadn't touched. Someone had been logging in through it. "For how long?" Kevin asked. 7 months. 7 months. Mr. David had been talking to Lily through the monitor for 7 months. At bedtime, after we said goodnight and closed the door and went back to the living room and thought she was falling asleep. She was falling asleep, but not alone. He knew her names. He knew Kevin's schedule from listening through the microphone. He knew about the bath song. He knew what Lily had for dinner because she told him. He knew when we argued because she told him that too. A 3-year-old with a microphone in her room, talking to a patient stranger every night for 7 months. And she told him everything because he asked nicely, and because she was 3, and because no one had told her that the monitor could talk back. The police traced the access to a VPN endpoint they couldn't resolve. The case is open and has been open for 5 months. No suspect, no name, no arrest. But Lily gave us a name. Mr. David. Whether that's real, we don't know. Nobody knows. What I know is this. The night we unplugged the monitor, Lily cried. Not the way she cried when she was hungry or tired or upset. She kept asking for Mr. David. She asked why he wasn't there. Then she asked if he was mad at her, if she'd done something wrong. She wanted to apologize to him. Is Mr. David coming back? I held her and said no. She asked why. I didn't answer. She cried into my shoulder for 40 minutes, and the whole time I could feel her heartbeat against mine. And I could feel that she was grieving. A 3-year-old grieving the loss of a relationship I didn't know she had, certain that it ended because of something she did. We moved her into our room that night. She slept between us for 3 weeks before she'd go back to her own bed. Kevin removed every device with a microphone from the nursery. The new monitor is a closed-circuit camera. No Wi-Fi, no speaker, no microphone. doesn't mention Mr. David much anymore, but sometimes, maybe once a month, always at bedtime, she'll look at the corner of her room where the old monitor used to be and say something quiet, not to us. Last Thursday, I was tucking her in. She looked at me and said, very seriously, "Mommy, Mr. David told me a secret." I asked what the secret was. The monitor had been gone for 5 months. Whatever Mr. David was about to say through her had been said back then, and Lily had been carrying it all this time. He said he'd find me again. I held her until she fell asleep. Then I went to the bathroom and locked the door, sat on the tile floor, and didn't move until Kevin knocked at 4 in the morning. She's 3. She thinks Mr. David is her friend. She doesn't understand what he took from us. She doesn't understand what he took from her. And whatever Mr. David taught her in the dark, she still remembers. A little girl in Denver calls a man by name that no one in her family has ever met. No malware, no ransom, no demand, just a camera on a shelf, a green light, and a microphone that works both ways. 17 connected baby and child products, baby monitors among them, were tested by security researchers in 2023. Everyone had vulnerabilities. Some of those baby monitors had no less than 5 critical flaws. Flaws that could let a stranger tap into the video feed of any monitor on the server. Some of those models are still sold today. Some of them are in nurseries tonight. Some of them are on. These are the questions nobody asks at the baby shower. Not, is the video encrypted? Not, does the manufacturer patch the firmware? Not, can the admin portal be accessed independently of the user password? The question is simpler than that. Who else is in the room when you close the door? Friendship, no parent arranged, and a 3-year-old who still calls him by name.